I'm going to read a couple of bits from the long ride home. I've recorded some other bits which are just like a voiceover, which you can also read or listen to. But I thought it might be fun just to read some stuff here. So here we are in Namibia, in the Kalahari, meeting the two Bushman healers, Unta and Ngui, who are going to do the first healing on Rowan. And as you'll see, these people have a sense of humour. The two old men greeted each other the classic Bushman way, with mock insults that concealed the deep affection that they had for each other. "Face like an old dead spirit," said Unta, to which his long-lost friend responded, "Death to your penis." It took me a while to pick myself up from the ground when Megan translated this. So this was the friend, the healer's friend, another elder healer, but with something more youthful about him. His name was Ngui, a small man with an upright, elastic bearing that belied his years, and a blue baseball cap set at a jaunty angle on his balding head. Their insults done, he and Unta went off into one of the huts to confer. Megan accompanied them. Megan was our translator. It took a couple of hours, during which time I went for a short walk, a small procession of curious, doe-eyed children trailing behind me, which was a good thing. It's all too easy to get lost in the bush, especially in the Kalahari, which is really just one big flat thicket with gladed areas in between that all look the same. I'd made that mistake once before, wandering off from camp, and had to shout to my fellow travellers to make a noise so that I could find my way back. And I have a good sense of direction, but it's impossible to overemphasize how disoriented you can become in the bush. Another time I'd been right here in Nyai. Nyai was the place we were at, several years before, a potentially lethal situation. Just at the moment when I realised that I was hopelessly, stupidly lost, I heard a soft but powerful sigh to my right. I froze, knew what that sound meant. Elephant. I sank to my haunches and squatted there in the dark, wondering what to do. So close, it must know I was there. Now, letting my eyes focus on the darkness around me, I could make out the huge creature's darker, slightly moving form. Then, another. And then from behind me, I heard the tear of a branch and a rich, rippling fart. I had blundered inadvertently into the middle of a small group of them. It's a classic way to get duffed up by elephants, this, accidentally bumping into them in the dark, because they make so little noise most of the time. Drunk people wandering around in the bush sometimes get caught this way. Startle an elephant by stumbling into him, and you're going to find his trunk whipped around you at full force, enough to break your rib cage, and that's just for starters. Why had I done this? Stupid, stupid, stupid. Too scared to move, too scared almost to breathe, I simply squatted there in the warm, quiet night and waited. They knew I was there. They were tolerating me, as elephants often will, for the time being. For what felt like hours, but was probably a little under an hour, I waited, growing sore in my limbs, until it seemed they'd moved off. At last the tearing and slow munching of branches faded gradually from earshot. It took an age to find the camp. Having wandered into the bush unescorted at night a second time, I would never do it again. So now, as I waited for Unta and Ngui, I was glad of the little escort of children who'd followed me into the bush. They would keep me safe, as children often do, if adults only did but know it.